1, 2, 3, go!
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, wait, Bill has the music for that. All right.
Welcome to Maker's Hustle, a podcast about turning your passion into a profession. This is episode 19 for Monday, November 21st, 2016. I'm your host, Bill Lavolsi, and here are my co-hosts, Amy Davis-Roth. Hey, Amy.
Hey, so great to be here.
And Jeffrey Moore. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, glad to be back, Bill. Hello, Amy.
Yeah, me too. It's been a long time.
It's been a very long time.
We literally have not spoken to each other at all in weeks. Except on text messages.
Except for the text messages for the last,
and Facebook and Twitter.
And Twitter.
But still, I missed you guys.
The hangout groups that we're in and stuff like that.
So before we get rolling, I want to take a moment to thank our top Patreon supporter, Luis Gonzalez, and our newest supporter, Cactus Workshop. So thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the family.
Thanks, guys.
If you would like to support the show, check us out at patreon.com/makershustle. We give away all sorts of cool stuff. Not all the time, but pretty often. And yeah, you should get in on that. It's a lot of fun. We do some extra content just for the patrons, and people seem to like that. So yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, maybe I'll give away a print next episode.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be fun. One of my art prints. I'll give away an art print.
I feel like I'm not holding up my end. I got to give something away.
I was going to go somewhere, but I'll wait until later. I was going to go somewhere. I thought about it. I'll cut him some slack.
Thank you. So, what's everybody working on this week?
Well, you want to ask me?
Do you want to ask me? Go first.
You want to ask Jeff? Jeff's probably nicer. Ask Jeff.
Well, I'll go quick. Right. This week I've had a very good week. I've found a couple of locations of where I want to do my first STEM program. And I've been, just talking to a couple of people, and really it's a lot of opportunities out here. So, and Bill put me in touch with somebody today who's also looking to do some type of workshop, some type of program. If you're out there and you're listening to our podcast and you're thinking, yo, I got something that I want to share. I'm telling you, so many, whether it's a community organization, schools, libraries, they are interested in bringing programs in for youth. So, that's what I've been working on this week. I've met with a couple of people, a lot of enthusiasm around me bringing the STEM program to the community. Now, really where I'm at is I get to pick where I want to, do my program. It's not like I'm stuck having to do it in a place that I wasn't too excited about. I actually have options. So that's pretty cool. And I'm excited about that.
That is awesome.
Oh, thank you very much.
It is. No, I'm serious. It's so great. You have so much to offer to the community.
Yes,
I'm so stoked that you're going to be doing that.
Yes, one day they'll name a street after me.
They will. And then we'll burn it down in a riot. It'll be great.
With such an optimist.
Our government is... Okay, I'm not going to swear. Our government has changed. A lot has changed since we recorded last.
Oh, yes, it has. Wow. Yeah. It's so funny. It's so funny. The last one, I think the conversation was, well, we'll see if we'll have a podcast next week. And guess what? We have a podcast.
We still do. They haven't come for us yet. They haven't blocked our signal.
But
that's good. Good news. So you want to know what I'm up to?
What are you up to?
Amy, what are you up to?
Actually, I've been doing a whole lot of stuff for my Redbubble shop, so check that out. Redbubble people/Surly Amy, or I guess you could just search Surly Amy. I don't know. But I've been doing a bunch of really cool designs, and you can always there's a portal on my website, surly-ramics.com, if you ever want to find what I'm up to. But I've been doing a ton of different designs. They've been having this really fun design contest each week where it's a different topic and you get to design something for one of their products. And I've been doing that diligently every week, and it's been so much fun. They've had different themes like furry animals, and this week is something that a tree hugger would like. So I drew this illustration of a grafted fruit tree that has 4 different fruits grafted on it. And then I turned it into sweatshirts and t-shirts and all kinds of stuff and stickers. Ooh, and I found out that you can order my designs through Redbubble as really big stickers, like 12 inches by 12 inches or whatever. I think that's the largest dimension, but they're really cool. And you can stick them on your wall or you can stick them on your laptop. So it's really kind of neat. And affordable. Even I'm excited about it because I can get pieces of my art that Like, if you can't afford to do a full run of stickers of 1,000 stickers, that's going to cost you like $300 or whatever. You can just pay $2 and you can get a sticker of one of my drawings, and it's fun. So I ordered some for myself, and I'm really excited about that. And I've been doing a bunch of sort of protest art. I got really upset at the whole Trump election. I know there's a lot of listeners here that support Trump, and I respect that, sort of. But I am very much against his policies and everything he represents, and I'm against white nationalism and racism and sexism and all of the things that are coming to the forefront in society right now. And we're seeing a rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes and racial hate crimes, and it's really bothering me. So I tried to check out of social media for a while because I think I was getting too angry, and I was sort of lashing out at anybody that came at me, and I'm like, this isn't good. I need to step away. So what I did is I stepped away and I started reading about art and art history. But because I'm so sort of focused on what's happening in government, I started researching protest posters and all of the sort of agitate and bring together and unify posters that were created for labor unions and for anti-war movements and for movements during World War II. And I created my very own protest poster for the first time, and I'm really happy with it. Super cool. If you like Trump, you won't like it, but if you're like me and you sort of want to fight the power, you might really enjoy it. So it's in my Redbubble shop, and we can also link to it through our show notes, but it's really cool. It's fun. And if you don't like the way I think about things, I highly recommend you make your own poster, because it was a lot of fun to make. It's sort of in the style of like Shepard Fairey. He does a lot of stuff like that, and I don't know, it's just really fun to make a protest poster in the style of like the 1940s. It was really cool. So hopefully you'll get a chance to check that out. And also, I just ordered 1,000 stickers of it. Ooh. So I know there's a lot of people out there. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that like to do sticker trades and stuff like that. So if anyone's listening and you want one of my stickers, just give me a shout out and I'll see what I can do. I'll send you one and you can stick it somewhere, and I'll also send you a Maker Hustles sticker with it. So just let me know if you want that after you see it. So I've been doing a lot of that, a lot of protest art, a lot of writing. I've been writing for Skeptic, but I think I'm going to start doing more long form sort of political posts on my Patreon. So if you don't already follow me on Patreon, you might want to do that. You can pledge for as little as $1, but I'm going to do a lot of public posts now that are just sort of like long form blog posts, as well as the patron only art that I do. So you can check that out on Patreon's Surly Amy. So I've been up to that. And then, oh yeah, the cell biology conference is coming up. I keep talking about that. I'm super excited, but it's in like 2 weeks. So again, I've been making a whole bunch of cell and science inspired stuff. And I just got a bunch of prints back from the printer that I'm really happy about. That's why I said I would give one away. I did this really beautiful design that says science is everywhere. That's a microscope and a telescope, and it has bacteria.
Oh yeah, I really like that
space.
one.
Yeah, it came out, oh my god, so beautiful. Like the printer did an amazing job. I'm really happy about that. So I'm going to bring those to the cell biology conference, and I'll hopefully post those on my website soon, and I will give one of those away next week to one of our Patreon supporters. So I've been doing a ton of stuff since we've talked last.
Yeah, no kidding, and now I have to follow that. So I made a knife. I'm done. No, I'm not really.
It's a cool knife, though.
Yeah,
cool.
So I had an old saw blade, and I made a knife out of it, and I made a video about it, and I put up the video, and the video got tremendous amounts of traffic, like ridiculous amounts of traffic. It is now like my second most popular video ever, and it's only been up for, I don't know, 2 weeks, I guess. So it really took off, which is great. And so I kind of caught this knife making bug, and I started making more. So now I've made 3 knives, and I all out of the same saw blade. So I'm recycling, so that's good. Cool. And I've managed to cut myself with each and every one of them at least once.
Oh man, be careful.
Yeah, and this last one I made using only hand tools, no power tools at all.
How do you sharpen it?
With a grinding stone, like an actual,
yes,
stone,
old school.
And you sit there and just
old
push
school.
it.
Nice.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that video, Bill. I'm not gonna lie to you. When you first started, I was like, "What the heck is he gonna do with?" And first, was that a good saw blade?
No, it was just okay.
You were just like, screw it.
Yeah, when I bought that new table saw of mine, it was used. Somebody else had been using it for years, so it came with a blade already in it, and that blade was really super dull.
So all the and
it wasn't worth it to sharpen it, so I just took the blade and I was like, oh, I'll do something with this at some point.
Yeah, because
So I
there's
ended
a
up
lot of
cutting it
extra
up
blade laying around somewhere.
Yeah, so I ended up cutting it up and using the steel.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, Bill is making moves with that one song. I was like, goodness, there was a lot of work that went into that, by the way. How long did it take? In real life, not the video.
Oh, in real life, maybe, like all told, like 10 hours, maybe. So really not that bad. Like compared to some woodworking stuff, I'm really slow at everything though, just because I have no idea what I'm doing half the time. Because every time I do something, it's the first time. Even with the knives that I made 3 different knives, and they're 3 different like styles of knife, so they're all a little different. So each time I do it, it's like, how do I solve this problem? Well, I have no idea, but I'm about to find out.
Well, I was looking at it like,
yeah.
This is in the video. It only took like 5-6 minutes, so I was engaged the whole way. But I was like, goodness, that looks like a lot of work, a lot of sharpening. You got to do all these different levels to it. I was like, oh, yeah. That's
I managed to take 9 or 10 hours and cram it into 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, that was dope. Great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Love the video.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to, and then a lot of writing, a lot of freelance stuff. Just trying to make sure that I always have enough to do, and lining up stuff for next year, especially because everybody's kind of in the holiday rush right now. But when January rolls around, people are going to be ready to start new stuff, and at that point, I want to be ready. I want to be able to hit the ground running. So I have a lot going on, and I'll be able to talk more about that as it goes.
Hey, let's make the pocketbook of knives. Let's make a little book of your knives, like a little tiny book, really beautiful photographs of each knife that you do. You have to do like 50 though, and they all have to be different.
I have to make 50 different knives?
Yeah, and it'd be a pocketbook of knives, and it could, like a pocket knife. Get it?
I like it.
It would be really cool, and it could have like how-to tips on how to make your own knife and how to sharpen knives, and
so it'd be like the pocket knife book.
Yes.
I like it. I like it.
I love it. Let's do it. I call dibs on photography.
Okay.
I want to get into photography again.
All right, sure. Just, come on out here. By the time you get here, I'll have knives. So.
Okay. I'm in.
I actually have a, I don't know if you guys are familiar with ninja shurikens. And so I have like this cool little, I guess you could say like pouch. And it's like a knife pouch. And I have a whole bunch of ninja shurikens. And I don't know why I went out and purchased a ninja shuriken pouch. But I guess it's going to come in handy soon. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Nice.
That's great.
Well, let's get on with the show, I guess.
All right.
Let's do it.
So this week, what we're doing is we're talking about something. This was actually a recommendation from Scott Hahn, who is he was our first supporter on Patreon, and he's a big fan of the show. So thank you, Scott, for bringing this up. He suggested that we talk more about something that we first brought up in episode 13, which was we talked about partnerships with Sean Mapp. And Sean said,
I feel like I can do jobs much better than a lot of editors on my team.
Very true.
But if I decided to work in the business, then I wouldn't be able to work on the business.
So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about working in the business versus working on the business. And Scott, because you suggested the topic, we're going to go ahead and send you some Maker's Hustle swag to say thank you.
Yeah.
And we just we decided before we started recording that from this point out, if you recommend a topic and we end up using it, we send you some stuff to say thank you.
That's a lot of swag.
Yeah.
That's a lot of swag. You can pile up.
You might get a sticker that offends you in that package. If so, please give it to your nearest friend.
Or I don't know.
Sorry ahead of time.
Yeah. All right, so
I am
let's.
the one that sends out the swag, you guys. So that's why.
Yep. Amy's good at mailing things. We
Amy
established
is
this
the professional mailer. Yes.
I'm the professional shipper because I'm always working in the business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That was great.
So if we're gonna talk about this topic, it's really, really hard for me to separate because I am the only employee at surly-ramics right now because it used to be me and Johnny, who is my husband, but he went off and got a career, and so he no longer works with it. How dare he have a life of his own? So he went and got a fantastic career. I'm really proud of him. But so now it's only me working on the business, so it's really difficult for me, other than the fact that I do things like I hire an accountant because I could not manage my taxes without one. But other than that, I am all aspects of surly-ramics. So it's really hard for me to delegate to anybody else because I don't have anyone to delegate to.
Well, the interesting thing about what Sean was saying, I think, is because I'm in the same boat, like I do everything around here. But what I end up doing is dividing my time between working in the business and working on the business. Because, I'll talk to people and I'll bring in some new clients, and then I have to do work for those clients. But at the same time, I need to be lining up the next set of clients.
Right.
And so being able to keep both of those things in mind is super important. Otherwise, you finish a job and you don't have a next job to go to.
So it's like compartmentalizing. Like I will take a certain part of my day that I use for marketing on social media and promoting posts and creating photographs and things like that. And then I'll take another part of my day where I'm actually working on custom orders for people that have ordered them. And I always have stuff happening. Like there's always sort of a conveyor belt of things happening at surly-ramics where there's things in different sections or processes of being finished. So there's always something that I can work on, but I have to sort of force myself not to spend too much time on any one thing or the whole system falls apart. So I guess I understand that part of it.
Yeah, the system falling apart is never good.
No, you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because when I remember back to when I first learned that concept, Sean and I were really struggling with being the ones, even though we had a team around us, we ended up being the ones doing all the heavy lifting. And what we found was our company was not growing. And it was because the ones who had the vision to help the company grow were also the ones who had to spend all of their time doing all the hard work. And if you got a team around you and you're in that position, you need to fire your team. That's the first thing. But to your point, to both of your points, if you're the only person who is working in that company, then that working on the business instead of in the business has to be a mentality.
Yeah.
And when you think about, what is the most, I think a lot of the things that we talk about kind of blend together very well. So we were just talking about working on the business, which goes back to the marketing thing that we talked about. It goes back to the time management. I think we do a great job of just layering and building on top of concepts. But, just to add another concept for this, Amy, you just mentioned it, the word systems. So in order for you to compartment, so you don't mess me up, in order for you to compartmentalize an effective way and do all of the different things, because in order for a company to grow, you have to have a marketing strategy. You have to have a fulfillment strategy. You have to have a sales pitch. You have to have all of these things. You have to have customer service. Like you have to be able to do all of these things in order for your business to grow. And so when you start to think about how can you work on your business instead of just working in your business, because as the only person, you're going to have to work in your business. Otherwise, nothing to get done. But taking time out of your day to develop systems, right, that are going to allow you to do that marketing, that sales, that product development, that product putting together in a systematic way that is repeatable and scalable. So for those of you out there listening, we like to drop words. We like to give you a little bit of context and then drop some definitions on you. Repeatable and scalable. If it takes me, let's say Amy goes out and designs this new necklace, right? And this is her first time designing this necklace. The first one might be a little sucky. I don't know. Maybe Amy's work is perfect the first time. No. But let's say it's sucky, right?
Yeah.
And it's not what she wants. If she spends a whole lot of time doing that and her process is all broken and she wastes a day or 2 days just trying to get this one thing and it comes out terrible, then she just wasted a day. She effectively lost money. Right. Yeah. But let's say she had a process and she said, if I get to this point or if I get to this time or if I get to this little part and it doesn't look the way I want, I'm going to scratch it and go back to something. That is her system. That is her process. Then that way she's able to get work done, but also realize that this isn't working. I need to move on to something else. Right. So if you're going to work on the business and you're the only person there, then it has to be a mentality. That mentality has to be, how can I make my process, my system repeatable and scalable so that I can be the most effective and efficient in the small amount of time that I have without sending myself off the deep end and going crazy. And that
I think a lot of us who are makers, and we are the business, especially if you're an artist. So people want to buy stuff because they want to buy stuff from the artist. So that's why I am, I'm DIY, I'm one of a kind, I'm original, you're buying from me, you're getting a piece of me whenever you buy surly-ramics, you're getting a piece of me whenever you buy my shirts off of Redbubble. And in terms of scalability, I thought a lot about that, and I've had a really difficult time because it is just me working on the business, and I really can't grow because it is just me right now. Like, I can only make so many things a week, and I can only spend so much time on the computer promoting before, I need to go eat dinner. I need to check out for a little bit. I need to relax and do self-care or whatever. But that is why I really, really love this whole Redbubble thing, because I've said it before. When I'm relaxing, this has given me a chance to actually sit down after I'm working on surly-ramics and draw things out. And then I can post them, and it is allowing me to scale my business larger, because once I create one design, so I can draw something like, say somebody wants, I don't know, they want me to draw, let's say, a butterfly. Someone's like, please draw a butterfly. And of course, I've already done this. But say someone's like, I want you to do a monarch butterfly necklace for me. And I'm like, all right, great. Well, I have to draw that before I make the necklace, right? So now that I've found this other opportunity, this other sort of outlet for my art, I can make the necklace. I can create a mold for the necklace from the butterfly stamp, or make a stamp of it so that I can create, multiple pieces of it. And then I can take that butterfly drawing, I can color it in, I can turn it into t-shirts. And once I put it on Redbubble, it can be t-shirts, mugs, plates, like all kinds of things, phone covers, clocks, all these like amazing products that it can be. And once I've created it once, I get to walk away from it. Yeah. And I never have to worry about it again. And then hopefully revenue will start coming in, which it is starting to slowly for me, which is great. And I'm really grateful for that. But it's like an amazing way for me to put my work out there. And then I don't have to take care of it anymore. I don't have to work on it. They do the shipping, they do the packing, they do the printing. So that's been a really great way for me as an artist to broaden my business, make it bigger by incorporating stuff that I already had to do.
Well, the cool thing is, yeah, that makes perfect sense. The cool thing is, actually, when I was doing research for this episode, it turns out that episode 13 is the first time you mentioned Redbubble. That was when you set up the Redbubble store. So you've only been doing that for 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Just to put that in perspective.
Yeah.
And it's starting to make money.
Yeah, I've already made about $1,500 in profits off that, which is really quite amazing because I only get a couple dollars per shirt, and like if you buy a sticker, I get like 20 cents, stuff like that. But still, that's money. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. But it adds up, and it's like it's extra income, right? It's like once I put it up there, I don't have to maintain it. I don't have to talk to the customer. Redbubble handles everything. It's like I got to license my art to them, and I get residual payments. So it's fantastic. It's a great idea. I want to do more stuff like that. If anyone wants to license my art to make t-shirts, please get in touch, because this is great. Like I love to create new stuff every day, but instead of with the surly-ramics where it's really a lot of time consuming work of me working in the business, when I can find ways to license my art for other projects, then I do it once and then it takes care of itself.
And that's a perfect example of you working on the business. Like that, the Redbubble opportunity, that is by definition working on the business, right? And trying to figure out a way
to monetize what
effectively.
I do.
You found a way to be more effective and efficient with your time, right? Even when you're doing something that you were going to do anyway, right? You were always going out and drawing before you went to bed, right? That was your thing that you did every day. Now you're finding ways to monetize the thing that you were doing every day. So even though it's not necessarily surly-ramics, and probably a lot of the work that you do draw for the Redbubble shop also goes into some design for the surly-ramics, you're effectively working on the business, and it's repeatable and scalable because you didn't necessarily design the system, but you found a system that does that repeating and scaling for you, which is incredible, right? Even with this podcast, when we think about it from a marketing perspective, right? You're working on the business right now, right? You and I don't have to edit. We have Bill to thank for that. But this is effectively working on your business, right? So because you're marketing, every time you mention surly-ramics, you're marketing, and this is creating value, which we don't necessarily have to do any extra work for. This only takes about an hour and a half of our time every week, right? But this is when we start to think about the concept of working on your business instead of in your business. It's not only just spending less time in the shop, and, you know, thinking about how can I market a little bit better, but creating other opportunities that may not necessarily be directly related to your thing, whatever
Yeah.
your thing is.
Yeah.
You know, this
That's
is
what I would do.
actually, the more I think about it, this is kind of a big problem for maker businesses. And that's actually why, if you talk to content creators and especially woodworkers who, they get a lot of requests every week, you know, saying, hey, I want to do what you do. I want to make woodworking stuff and have that be my day job. How do I do that? And the first thing they say is, I hope you love being on the computer because you're going to be doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you start making a business out of it, you need to be working on the business far more than you're working in the business. So if you love spending time in the shop, maybe you should leave it as a hobby because you'll get more time in the shop and it doesn't become an obligation. And you feel less pressure to, you know, oh, I got to go market this thing. I got to deal with the clients. I got to go find new clients. And all of that stuff is stuff that happens outside the shop. So you're spending less time doing the thing that you love. Now, I guess I kind of lucked out because I didn't know this when I started, but I really love working on the business.
Yeah.
Like, it's exciting to me. It's fun.
You're actually an incredible businessman. For those of you out there who don't know Bill has blossomed from where we were when we first started. I want to say like 6 months ago when we first had this idea to the things that he's done in the small amount of time that weren't necessarily in the shop, right? There was a point where, I don't know if you put this out there yet, where he was considering not even doing the YouTube thing as his primary thing, right? And it's because of the experiences working on the business that showed him how this thing can really look from a holistic perspective. Like, how can growing, scaling, not just his business, but other people's businesses. That's the other part too.
Yeah.
Right? He's working on other people's businesses.
Well, that's the part that really got me excited is because I'm finding ways that I can help other people do better in their businesses and actually spend more time in the shop while also making sure that I can make a decent living. So like everybody wins. And the more I think about that, the more I get all worked up about it and go, oh, I got to go do some more of that. So it actually makes me like, I have some remaining client work from a few months ago where I was really hurting and, you know, I needed to make rent. You know what I mean? So I took some work and now I'm like, I really have to do that. I got to go build this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, but I'm not in a position to, first of all, I promised I would do it, so I'm going to do it. But second, I'm not in any position to like refund anyone at this point.
Yeah.
Because everything I get, I like immediately reinvest in either keeping the lights on or like getting equipment that I need or supplies or, you know, paying to mail stuff out or just whatever it is that I have to do. As soon as money comes in, it goes right back out.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hear that.
That's the most exciting part to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Damon Dash, but he's one of the guys who founded Rockefeller Records.
Yeah.
Rockefeller Records with Jay-Z and another guy named Biggs. But Dame Dash is my hustler professor. Like this guy, he talks about a lot of things, and a lot of people don't like Dame Dash. And for those of you who are interested in, you know, doing a little research into who I'm talking about, you can go and find like a Breakfast Club interview. So go on YouTube, look up Damon Dash Breakfast Club interview. And this guy talks a lot about being your own boss, taking money and reinvesting money. He said he's always broke because his money is always in the streets. Like if you got, if you got $20, he's going out buying T-shirts and selling them for $25. He's going to take that $25, take that and buy some more T-shirts. He's never putting money in his pocket. He always takes his money, and that's the way. And that's not the way that I do it 100% because, you know, I got a wife who will kill me. But I am putting as much money as possible back into the streets, and I am every opportunity that comes my way. I am looking at how can I possibly benefit. I've actually, and this is funny, Amy, because I know we talked about this on in the text messages, but you know, me trying to grow my business, I don't see my business as a specific thing. I see my business as an empire, like as a brand. And so I'm diversified in so many different ways. But one of the things that I've actually started to do, and because of the legislation that just passed, is I'm purchasing a whole lot of weed stock. And that is me working on my business.
I told my husband to do that. Yeah.
Listen,
Okay. We gotta talk off podcast about
can
my
talk
idea.
off
that
podcast.
we gotta do my idea, you guys.
Yeah,
we gotta do this test idea
Agree.
that I have.
Yeah,
and
I like
we
it.
gotta bring it back to everybody on the podcast. I have a business idea that I want all of us to do as a test to see if the three of us can use all of our skills together to start another side maker business.
Yeah,
So-
we're gonna
but we
put our
don't
money
wanna
where our mouth is
Yeah,
and
but
actually
we
give this a
can't-
shot.
We can't tell you guys what it is yet, but I had this really fun idea, and we're going to see if we can do it. And I think it'll be really great. So we need to get together and do that, you guys.
Yeah.
But that is the
All right.
that is the definition of working on your business. Like if you said I'm not going to do anything else but work in this shop and make chairs, then you're effectively just working in your business. You're not working on your business, because if you don't have any clients coming in, then you're not having any income. And so when I think about working on your business, especially for people who are doing their own business and it's just them, it's how can I be as effective with my time by developing systems that are going to create streams of revenue with the least amount of work and growing other things. And the more things you can do, the more streams of income you're going to have, number one. But the more things that you can do that connect and relate to each other, the stronger those individual brands or things that you're going to do are going to be. All right. So for Amy, her red bubble only enhances, even though you probably don't even have surly-ramics as like the key thing. Somebody can go to your red bubble shop and have no idea that this is surly-ramics by the art.
Right.
Maybe the name, maybe if you search for surly-ramics, that's it. Right.
Or Surly
Amy. Right.
Yeah.
But if you look at the stuff that you're putting on your red bubble, at least the things that you've showed me, a lot of it is very political and not necessarily the scientific that you're used to seeing with your surly-ramics. So somebody could go to your red bubble and have no idea that this is the same thing as that. Right.
Yeah.
But both of them are, even though they're tied together, because they're both art and it's you doing what you love, it's multiple streams of income and it's you working on your business.
And I love it. I love it. I love making the designs for Redbubble. You guys go check out my shop. I'm so excited. I'm posting stuff like every week, something new every week. So
Yeah.
And
love it.
We're on to something here. I think that we need to. No, never mind. I was gonna say I think we need to write a book, but then I realized that writing books sucks, and I'm like, you know what? Screw that.
We're all writing books already.
No more books. No more books for a while.
We're all working on that. I want to do a photography book with Bill now, though, really bad. I could do it with you too, Jeff. We could do like a STEAM book.
I don't
like,
want
with
anything
kids.
to do with books.
Okay, a photography, a coffee table book.
We can. I want to. We're gonna talk. I'll talk about it in my recommendation.
It's another avenue where I can just do something once, where I take a really cool photo. We compile those photos into a book, and we put it out there, and then we get revenue. Let's just do it.
Very true. But
It'd be
that's
like
working on the business.
Inspirational how to make stuff book with photos.
Yes. And you know what? I will add this. The other part of that is, you mentioned it earlier, Amy, when you said that you hire an accountant. Maybe working on your business is you hiring somebody to do something for you. So even though you can't do anything, even though you're the person who, runs the business, you're the only person who works for the company, you're really not, Amy, because you have an accountant who does that, right? And I'm sure you have a lawyer when you need a legal thing. So even you have a team of people around you, you just pay them more like consultants as opposed to regular employees. And so the less time you have to focus on doing something that you're not efficient in, the better you're going to be.
I'm terrible at organizing paperwork. So I can't.
I just found me a guy to do my taxes for my business too. I'm ready.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm ready to. I'm not. Never mind.
You check back with me in a few months, and I'm going to talk about. I'm magically going to find the money to hire somebody to do my taxes because I feel like this is going to suck.
I'm writing every.
I can't.
I'm about to do. If Trump can get away with doing $600 billion in losses, I'm about to get away with something too.
Yeah, we wish, dude. There's no hope for the little guy in this administration, but don't get me started.
But something I wanted to bring up before we get too far away from it is we're talking about this whole mentality of working in your business versus working on your business. And as somebody who, Jeff, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about here. If you work for somebody else, this is not a mentality that you have. You know what I mean?
Most people, yes. Most people, yes.
Like if you just work for somebody, you just work in the business until it's time to go home.
Yes.
and then you go home.
Yes. Most
and
people.
you sit on the couch.
It's so
whatever.
funny because I work at a place with a lot of employees, 1,300 employees, right?
Okay.
And most of them are direct support people, so they don't have to take their work home with. I mean, other than the emotional stuff that they have to deal with, but most of them don't take work home. But then you do have people who are in administrative roles, so like human resources departments. We have a financial department. We have recruiting department. We have a whole lot of administrative departments that most nonprofits don't have the luxury of having. And I look at people and I'm like, what are you guys taking bags home for? I take bags home because I bring my personal work to work, and then like I might print something out and then take it back home. But for everybody, I'm like, what do you guys have briefcases for? You don't have to take nothing home.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing this for? Like,
It's I feel like that'll be there tomorrow when you get back.
Yeah, like you don't. What are you doing it for? Like, I would never take work from work home, ever. Yeah. Even if it's something that I'm one of those guys who waits to the last minute to do everything. And so even if I'm right up against the 8 ball, I don't care. I'm not taking anything home because it's not impeding on my time at home.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I thought about because I was thinking about when I was working my last job and I became really dissatisfied. And it's because I was doing the same thing every day. I was just working in the business every day, and I was always doing the same thing. And so I started trying to come up with ways to work on the business, and that is not what they wanted from me. I had all these ideas about, hey, we could do this, powerful. We could do this. Like, hey, this could, we could expand in this direction because, they have a certain mindset and they stick to that because it's worked for them for the last 10 years or whatever. So why would they change anything now? But I'm saying, yeah, but you gotta stay ahead of this stuff. Things are going to change sooner or later, and you got to be in front of it. And they kind of didn't want to do that. So
and they probably paying the price for that now too.
I have no idea. You know what? No. I spend as little time thinking about them as I possibly can.
Very true. I understand.
And I'm much happier for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I realized that I wanted to have a job where I actually had a say in where the business went because I had some ideas about how to make it better, and they didn't want to hear them. And that's just really, really frustrating, because I was trying to help. And, it's one thing to consider them and go, we're going to go a different direction. It's another one to go, you know what, get back to your desk.
Yeah, it's sad. What's crazy? And it's multiple things. Like I've been working at this agency for going on 4 years, right? So going on 4 years, first 2 years, I was in a good position that allowed me to be creative. I had nobody looking over my shoulder. I was able to do whatever I wanted. It was crazy. But the type of things that I was able to develop and implement kind of gave me a sense of belonging, right? So I was happy, relatively happy. I always wanted to do my own thing, but I was relatively happy in my first position. In the position that I'm in now, I still have that latitude to go out and create, but now I'm spending a lot of time looking at how, because I'm at a higher level, other people are suppressed. And what you're talking about is so true. Like one of my good friends at my job she's almost 2-3 times more forward thinking than I am. Like she's more creative than me. And the stuff that she wants to implement, she comes to her supervisor and be like, yo, we should do this, or how about we try this? And the way that they just shoot it down is disgusting to me. Like I feel it hurts my soul seeing how stuck in a box most people are.
Yep.
It's crazy. And that's crazy. That's crazy for me to think about. But this is something that I will add and that I'm appreciative to. And one of the reasons why I haven't, one of the reasons why I'm still at my job. And it's because when we think about working on the business instead of working in the business, I'm in a position where like I sit at the leadership table of my organization. Right. So I see how and I don't give a lot of people props, but the CEO of my company is a freaking genius. And when I see this guy just process it, and it's funny because in meetings, he looks like he's not paying attention, but he pop his head up from his iPad and you can tell that those wheels are turning. But being in the leadership and just seeing how nonprofits operate and seeing how organizations grow and how concepts are developed and how you bring a whole lot of people together and you delegate tasks. Like even for me, I'm working on my business when I'm at my job, because I'm learning how to run a large organization, how to develop concepts, how to implement concepts. I've learned more about just budgeting and learning how to do different things and different tricks from watching these people that I sit around with than I did going through 2.5 years of a master's degree. I have a master in public administration with a concentration in nonprofit management. And the stuff that I've learned about managing nonprofits is not from the class. right? It's from the practical application and the practical lessons that I've learned on my job, working with these people, seeing how they move, seeing all of the different things come to fruition. And so even when I think about working on my business, I take a lot of the concepts that I apply in my side hustles from the things that I learned at the day job. So, that's one of the reasons why I haven't jumped off the Empire State Building yet.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Not doing anybody any favors, so.
Thank you.
Now, Amy, there was actually something I wanted to talk about with you because I know that you know about this because you haven't had a desk job in forever.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about a
decade.
The difference, at least for me, between working on the business and working in the business is working in the business gets you paid like now. Working on the business might get you paid later. Mm-hmm. So
but that's sort of
part of
been
that
my
division
mantra.
is like, finding that you got to do enough working in the business to buy yourself some time to work on the business.
Right. You got to have a schedule. If you're just one person, you have to get up and you have like a certain tasks that you have to complete by a certain time. You really have to force yourself to get shit done. So, but my mantra has always been, do something today that's going to make the business better tomorrow. And so that's why I think about working on the business. Like I always take time out to do some type of a promotion. Sometimes I'm annoying as all heck on Twitter because I'll just, go through these phases where I'm just posting stuff because that's one of my tasks that I have to do. I have to stock my stores. And when I stock my stores, I tweet them out. So I'm sometimes annoying on Twitter because I'm constantly posting stuff that has to do with check out this new thing I made. Check out this new thing I made. Oh, look at this next new thing that I made. I just made this. I like this. And it can be annoying, but it's part of what I do. And I have to continue that. I have to be motivated to sell all the time. I have to be fearless. And if I bother somebody by talking about my business too much or talking about my art too much, then it's okay. Unfollow me, mute me, don't pay attention to me. But I have to constantly do that. And I do that because it will make the business better tomorrow.
Yeah. And that's something you've brought up many times before, but do something today to make your business better tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's usually something you're not going to get paid for, and it's usually something that's really annoying or something that you don't want to have to do. It's all those sort of like little nitpicky things that you need to get done, but in the end, it's going to help you out a lot the next day when those things have already been done. And then you got to do them again, and then you got to keep doing them again, and then you got to keep doing them again, and then you got to not take days off because it's your own business. And if you really care about it, you're going to have to hustle constantly to keep it afloat. That's why surly-ramics has been around for 10 years. Because
that thing
I
that we say at the end of the show?
Yeah. The hustle never stops.
Yeah, it's not a lie.
It's not a lie, yeah. You have to keep it going. Like, my business has seen many ups and downs, and there's been years where it's been extremely profitable to the point where I was able to put a down payment on a house. And there's been years where it's been a loss because, for whatever reason, things have gone terribly wrong with the places that I was marketing at, or I made bad decisions in terms of where I was going to sell, and I lost money. But through the long-term vision of surly-ramics, it's very stable because I never ever give up on it, and I work on it every single day.
I think that's something we should spend an episode on, and this is a concept that I learned: strategic planning. Yeah, and I have tools. I have tools that people can get, and maybe this would be one of those the one kind of like the financial episode. But I have tools that people can use, and these are things that Fortune 500 companies are using to make their planning more effective, make their task-oriented situations more effective. And that is, even if it's something that you kind of move a little bit different by using these tools, because you're going to think about those things. You're going to think about tomorrow anyway, right? You're going to stay up late thinking about how can I make my business better. So if we could provide you with some tools to help you do that, that'll probably be beneficial to a lot of people. But strategic planning, if you are thinking about tomorrow, I don't think about tomorrow. I don't care about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to come. It's very little I can do about tomorrow. But next week is a lot I can do about next week, right? And then 6 months, there's a lot more that I could do about 6 months. And so doing something today that is going to help me tomorrow, cool. But I'm thinking about doing something today that's going to help me in 6 months. That's going to allow me to be in a better position 6 months from now than I am today.
It's the spirit of the thing, dude.
Yes. You know what I mean.
Do something now that's going to help you later.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's just today
I'm
and
sorry,
tomorrow
I didn't mean
sounds
to
better.
nitpick.
I don't know.
Any kind of retail business, you have to be thinking 6 months ahead of time. It's like Christmas is already over in my mind. Like I've done
Yes.
everything I could to stock my shops, and either you're going to buy from me or you're not. But I'm already planning on like where am I going to show in the springtime? You know, what events look good for me? You know, WonderCon. I'm going to try. You know, I'm going to do that in the spring. You know, I'm already thinking in terms of what's happening, you know, next year. So that's just the way you have to think when you have a retail business.
That's true in a lot of businesses. Like I worked in a restaurant for like 3 days once when I was much younger. And, you know, the work to prepare for the dinner rush is done like right after lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
prep
Or sometimes,
work.
I mean, they start that in the morning. You know, the people who show up really early and do all the prep.
Yep.
But, you know, they make sure everything is perfect and in order because when that swarm of customers comes in, it's already too late. Like it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that everybody listening has been to a restaurant where they didn't do it right because that's when your food takes 2 hours to come out.
Yeah. Very true.
I put myself through school as a waitress, and I still have dreams about being a waitress, and sometimes I miss it. Like, honestly. Like, I miss...
And then you wake up.
I was
And
about to say,
I
no,
wake
you
up and I'm
don't.
like, oh my God, that job was horrible. But
Yeah.
like, I miss talking to the people every day, and I miss
Yeah.
the pile of ones that I got to count at the end of the night.
Oh.
I miss the tips.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, I'm pretty sure that the Redbubble will start paying you the tips, and then you can start counting those the same. Or maybe
so.
you can
I
start
hope
counting
so.
those now. But
I hope so.
I love that. I love that hustle. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters
Yeah.
to me. I enjoy the rush. I enjoy the thrill. And when we talk about working on tomorrow, it's okay if you do something and tomorrow don't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you try to do something and tomorrow doesn't work out, that's okay. Just either tweak it a little bit and try it again, or
Learn from it.
Yeah. So even when we're talking about working on the business, we're not even saying that the thing that you're working on is going to be the best solution. It might be a terrible idea.
Oh, what's that brilliant quote that your wife said, Bill? Do you remember it?
Oh, yeah. The one
It's
from this
perfect
morning?
for right now. Yeah.
Yeah, she said something like, don't try to not make mistakes because everybody makes mistakes. Try to make sure that you're always making new mistakes.
Ooh,
Yes. I love
Yeah, my
it.
wife's a
I love
friggin'
it.
genius.
that
She
needs to be a
is.
bumper sticker.
Yeah. I can make that happen. I can make
You
that
can.
a
You can
t-shirt.
make that happen.
Yes. Actually, I think I would like one of those.
All right.
Try not-
Email me.
Man, I really miss doing this show. This was fun.
I love you guys.
Yeah. You did
at
You're
least
an
one good idea.
inspiration.
So, you want to wrap this thing up? I think we're about done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
All
wrap
right.
it up.
So recommendations for this week. I'm going to go ahead and go first. I haven't done that in a
Oh,
while.
how bold of you, Bill.
I know. So my recommendation
that
for this
coming.
week, since I'm always recommending YouTube channels, my recommendation is Simone Yetch, the queen of shitty robots.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
Go. Tell
Oh,
her.
my
Tell about her.
All right. So in addition to all the other funny stuff that she's done, she was in Cologne, Germany last week. And she got a chance to hang out with Laura Kampf, who you might remember from our show and her tremendously popular YouTube channel and a number of other podcasts where she's been a guest. And she's the best. I'm sorry. She just is.
I just followed her on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great. But anyway, they got to hang out together and they built two different robots. Okay. They built one, which was, you know, in the cartoons, how the donkey has the carrot on the stick hanging out in front of it so it'll walk. They built one for her dog, but it was a sausage.
Oh,
So there was a sausage hanging in front of his face. And he actually, but the thing is, it sounds sad, but he enjoyed it because when they took it off of him, he went and sat next to the robot and like wagged his tail and like wanted to do it again.
Aww.
So that was adorable. And then the other thing that they did was they built the Pussy Grabs Back robot.
Yes. I love
Yeah,
it.
which is it's
Looked
super
like it
funny.
hurt.
Yeah, it looks like it hurt. They actually they wrote a thank you to the guy who volunteered to get grabbed back.
Oh, really?
Because it's like he went through a lot of pain for this video, and we're very thankful. But I'll have links to both of those in the show notes. It's worth checking out. So Simone Yetch, go look. It's awesome.
Cool.
Very cool. So I've been so completely self-obsessed with drawing and everything that I don't even know if I have a media suggestion this week. I feel really kind of bad about that. I've flaked out in a way. I guess I would, I don't know, can I self-promote? Because, like, can I do that instead?
It's your podcast. You can do
All
whatever
right.
you want.
Look, I'll come to the table with some really good recommendations next week. But
You
for
better.
this week, For this week, hey, I started my very first holiday sale. You can get 33% off of everything at surly-ramics on Etsy. So you can get there through surly-ramics.com or surly.etsy.com. And all you have to do is use the code LOVESURLY. It's all caps, one word, Love Surly, and you can get 33% off everything. And if you send me a note, I'll send you a bunch of stickers to go along with whatever you ordered. So that's that. And also, Last Man on Earth, which is a really cool show that I like a lot, is back on the air. That's really funny. You should check that out. But other than that, I don't have any good media recommendations because I've been obsessed with politics. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Jeff, how about you?
So my recommendation for this week is a little different. We actually got an email from a guy named Ian McKay, and he reached out to us, and specifically he reached out to me. Sorry, Bill and Amy. But he was, we were having a connection, and he was just kind of telling me that, he heard what I was trying to do and he was excited about it, and he made a suggestion. And I can't say what the suggestion is. I just want to make sure that Ian knows that I appreciate the suggestion, and I'm actually thinking heavily about how I can get that, going. And I've actually reached out to a couple of people to see if we can get that ball rolling, because I was interested in doing what you suggested, but I just didn't know how to go about doing it. And so for those of you out there who know Ian McKay, give him a high five for me. But my recommendation for this week is actually his wife. His wife is an author, and she wrote a couple of books. And if you go to her website, Amy McKay, AMIMCKAY, you can check out her blog. She talks about some of the books that she's doing. And then also you can check out the different books. I see The Witches of New York, and that one was made available in Canada and the UK in October 2016, and they'll be releasing the US version soon. So if you're interested in books about the history of witches with a little bit of, if I read this correctly, the history of witches with a little bit of fiction twists, make sure you check out her website and pick up some of her books. And Ian, thanks for the shout out, bro. Thanks for the idea. I'm on it.
Thanks, Ian. Send us a message too. We miss you.
Yeah.
Yes. This
Just
man
say
deserves.
hi.
This
Just give me
guy
some
deserves
advice. I
a
don't know.
robot keychain.
Oh,
Ian, if you're
right.
listening, send Bill your address,
Yeah.
so that way, or you can send it to me, I guess. All right, and we're gonna get you a robot keychain because that man deserves one.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not your errand boy, Jeff. You get it yourself.
I'm sorry. Well, you're the big guns. I call Bill for when
And Jeff is shipping it, so that means you'll get
And I am
it
shipping.
sometime in
In the
next
near
6
future.
to 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't hold your breath. It's coming.
If
but,
it's coming from me, you'll get it right away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Jeff is not efficient and effective. He didn't scale and repeat, so he struggles with the post office. Actually, but this man deserves one, so I'm on it.
All right, cool. So yeah, before we leave, where can everybody find you?
All right, so you can find me on Facebook at more4 with the F being the number 4, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter with the more_4.
Cool.
And you can find me on all social media at Surly Amy, and you can also find me on Redbubble as Surly Amy. And if that is difficult for you in any way whatsoever, please go to surly-ramics.com. It is a portal to everything that I do.
And you can find everything that I've ever done or a link to it at onecarworkshop.com. Just keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Well, brag about it, why don't you?
So that's it for this week. If you're listening to the show on iTunes, please take a moment to leave us a rating and tell us what you think, even if what you think is that we suck. We got 2-star ratings recently, and you know what? Thank you for leaving them, really.
Thank you.
Serious.
I appreciate that.
Even though they're 2 stars instead of 5, that's cool. You know what? I'm just glad that you voiced your opinion and that you listened to the show and you cared enough to write something. So seriously,
And I hope
thank
it
you.
was because you hated me.
No, actually, they disagreed with Jeff's choice in 3D printers.
No
Oh, really?
way!
Yeah,
Are you
way.
kidding me?
They're like, he likes the new MakerBots. I can't listen.
Oh my god! That is
Well,
the best!
I'm
That is
lazy,
the
so
best.
I'm
That is
lazy,
the
so I don't.
absolute best.
When we think
I'm
about
actually surprised.
no, that's funny though. But here, they can disagree with my selection, but as long as they understand the rationale, I care about working on my business. I don't even care about the quality of the print. I just need something that I can press before I walk out the door and check with the app to see if it's done or if it jammed up or anything. So I appreciate MakerBot, and they don't give me a check. They could give me a check. That'd be nice. But yes, I do think that it's important. If you have a concern, if you think that, either something we said or something I use is not good, please let us know.
Yeah.
And either
I am so excited right now that it wasn't hate mail for me. Like, I've never been happier. This is like the greatest.
So thank you both for making
I'm kind of
Amy's
excited
day.
too.
Thank you for making my day with that 2-star review. That was like the best.
You can leave us a rating on iTunes, and you can
funny.
make Amy's day. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Makers Hustle. If you want to ask a question, give feedback, or suggest a show topic, you can contact us through social media or send an email to info@makershustlepodcast.com. Once again, thank you so much for listening. We're really happy you're here. And while this show might be over,
The hustle
The
never
hustle never stops.
We'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'll throw this here.
Man, I really do miss doing this.
No, that's so
I
funny.
love this podcast.
Ugh.
That's